Welcome back, watch fans. We got an amazing Rolex Submariner watch market update for you. I'm going to tell you what's happening in the market, prices, where they're heading, and more and more. And did I make a mistake buying this watch? Unbelievable but true. That's right. Look, now you know on this channel, it's not just about the horology, okay? It's not just about the horology, but it's about the idea of, look, my philosophy is if you're buying a watch, it's got to make you money. Look, if you're talking about Rolex 10 grand or whatever it is, you're talking about tying up real capital, and 10 grand is real money. It should make you money, right? Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? Now, you know, if you've been following along our watch collecting journey, the journey on this channel, you've seen we've had some major winning bigly and huge. We're talking about the Audemars Piguet Owl, which increased over, 350%. The Ellipse, which is up, only about 150%, maybe a little bit more. And now everybody's talking about the Ellipse, right? The prices are going bananas. The Ellipse market has doubled in the last year. I've been telling you about this for a while. How about the Patek 3940G, the top G, the perpetual calendar? Yeah, everybody was laughing when I was talking about that watch a year ago, including the Bogan of Brisbane, Archie Luxury, and lo and behold, prices are doubled. The 3940G, there's one being offered right now for $109,000 by the Muppet Boiler Room channel called European Watch Company. And guess what? I think the price is going to 250 grand. That's right, 3940G, probably going to 200 to 250 grand. Plus, we got some other interesting wins, but sometimes you have you can't win all the time, including with this watch. Now, so far, right now, this shall we say investment is not panning out. Let me tell you what happened. I purchased this watch. By the way, I bought. It's not that I'm making money because I'm buying. The COVID, everything went. No. The watches I bought during COVID are up. That's right. They're up. They're up, including the top G is up. Yeah, that's right. You gotta. There's ways you can make money in any market. So don't be a tomato can. Don't get fleeced by these Muppet Boiler Room channels. That's why you need to become a subscriber to the channel. And not just that, but a member. Click the join button, and you can become an aristocrat. That's right. You can become an aristocrat, and here are the benefits. One of them is you're going to get a free watch collection review video, which is worth probably, $500. Look, you're going to get a custom video on this channel reviewing your collection. Again, don't send me shitter watches. I don't want to see like Tissot. Okay, we're talking, Rolex, Omega. No, excuse me. sorry, not Omega. Rolex at the low end, Patek, AP, things like that, right? Maybe Vacheron, JLC, interesting watches, okay? And we'll give you a free watch collection review video. It's going to be posted on this channel. Now, look, you may not be able to handle the truth. Can you handle the truth? Because we're very brutally honest. So if you want to, get that collection review video, you got to invest $4.95 to become a member. You click that, then you send an email with your pictures of your watch collection, whatever questions you have, to the Colonel at BrutalWatchReviews@gmail.com. BrutalWatchReviews, reviews with an S, at gmail.com. And yeah, we're going to tell you the truth. If you have shitters, we'll tell you they're shitters. Whatever questions you have, we'll give you the honest truth, unlike these scumbags, these grifter watch channels like Archie Luxury, Kakistan. You got the O Kakistani channel is the Watch Kakistan. You got Artempi's Dietz, Tim Wright. You got the JJ Watch Hangout, the Pakistan channel. Yeah, you got a bunch of these guys coming up all the time. You got the Theo and Homo. You got the fake aristocrat Urban Gentry. You got the grifter of Venice. The grifter of Venice selling stolen computers now on live streams. That's right, the guy's selling stolen Apple iPads or whatever. Well, I don't know if they're stolen, but very shady. Anyway, look, let's talk about this. By the way, so here are the benefits you get when you join the channel as an aristocrat. Number one is you get the free watch collection review video, limited time only, okay? Archie charges you $100 for this. I'm giving it to you for free. Number two is very important. You become an aristocrat. everybody is going to have to call you Baron. That's right. Your official title will be Baron. Baron. So let's say your name is shit, right? Horse shit, right? Now everybody's going to have to call you Baron Horse shit. You get it. Your friends, family. The other thing is you're going to have access to our top secret content. That's right. We all our best content is for members only because we want to keep it a peasant-free environment. I don't want to have any peasants, sniffing around and discovering the secrets of getting rich with horology. That's right. Getting rich with horology. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What is long, hard, and full of seamen? A submariner. That's right. Unbelievable but true. Now, look, let's talk about the investment thesis when I purchased the watch, which was roughly, I think it was when, sometime late 2020. I paid $9,000, which was really probably $500 too much. Really, I could have gotten it for $8,000 a year earlier, but I wasn't really into this watch. I wasn't into it before. It was never really my thing. But you know what? For whatever reason, I don't know. I just was sitting around. You know what happens. You understand. I don't need to explain. But here was my rationale. Here was the rationale. Look, we had a zero interest rate environment, so money in the bank is not making you any money. You had inflation raging. The inflation is exploding, and hard assets do well during inflation. Okay. At the same time, I like watches, right? So I figured, look, I paid $9,000 for this watch. It'll probably compound at, really Rolex does compound historically 5% a year, roughly, maybe a little bit more, right along with inflation. But I also thought there could be a little bit of extra juice coming in from all the tomato cans who are getting into watches, and especially because the Rolex Submariner, that's right, the Rolex Submariner, which is long, hard, and full of seamen, like, sailors, you know what I'm talking about, right? I thought this would actually have a little bit of extra juice, so maybe a bigger lift, because again, this is really the watch. When people think of Rolex, this is kind of the icon. I hate to say it, not because I own it, but you understand, you guys know, this is the watch. When people think Rolex, the King Tut, the Bluesy. The peasants call it the Bluesy. The aristocrats know this as the King Tut. That's right, the King Tut. Why? Because King Tut of Egypt, his favorite, you look at the pharaoh stuff, it was all blue and gold, baby. Now, my whole philosophy of avoiding steel watches at all costs. No steel allowed. You got to have a little bit of gold in there, so this does the job. You can't go full gold. It's a little bit, it's too obnoxious. It's kind of like a entry-level slumlord, entry-level slumlord. That's what that is. When you wear a full gold submariner, you're basically like a kind of entry-level slumlord. Now, what happened? Okay, so the thesis was, again, zero interest rate, so, this was better than money in the bank, okay? I thought I would get a lift from, people coming into the market, getting into the icon. And also, here's the thing. Here's my protection, okay? Because you got to have downside protection. The downside protection was this. This is the this is the pre-ceramic. I was very specific in only getting this because the pre-ceramic, which has gold through the clasp, okay, the tomato can clasp, which is made of literally tomato can metal. You got gold in there, and then you get the engraved bezel. You got the engraved bezel. It says Rolex, all that stuff, right? So historically, it's a relatively, it's got a place in the Rolex canon of hits, because, this again, they kind of did the engraving, they did the whatever, and there was limited production, right? I think they only did this for a couple of years, just a few years, right? So I figure, okay, look, it's not like the regular submariners. At least this, you have kind of a limited production, which protects you from having too much supply in the market. Now, how did I do? Terrible. Terrible, because right now the value of this watch is probably, I would say, I don't know, maybe 10 on a good day. On a good day, like meaning you could maybe 10. I'm talking about selling it to a dealer. Maybe 10. Maybe a little more. Plus minus. But that's that's too much. That's a big margin of error, right? I was expecting this to be by now at least 15. Okay, because I do believe these at some point will hit that number 15. I think I said in one of my videos 20,000. That was my projection. That was my target. But not right away, 7+ years. Okay, if you look at one of my old videos, I said, yeah, this could be worth 20 grand in 7 years, 10 years maybe, which is kind of typical for Rolex. But here's the problem. Here is the problem, because there's multiple moving parts, right? You have opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is very real. So right now, I have money tied up in this watch, which, it's okay. It's okay. Look, the problem with it, I've done videos, and it's a little bit too, it's first of all, it's redundant. I got the Yacht Master, I got other stuff, so it's redundant. No need for it. It's fun to wear in the summer, but also if you're kind of on the ocean, ideally Miami. I mean, you got to be in kind of a tropical, warm environment, Mediterranean, Miami, whatever. You understand what I'm saying, right? The situation is this, right? I think Rolex is basically relatively dead. I think modern Rolex, there is kind of, I think, a real overhang. People, look, there's a lot of fans for Rolex. I get it. Everybody's all the lemmings, the crayon eaters. They love Rolex, and they do certain things well, right? The problem is, I believe there's going to be a bit of an overhang in the market in general for Rolex. There's just, people have enough, right? And at the same time, you have other markets that are really moving, right? Like right now, I have my eyes on a couple of niche areas in the watch space, a couple of niches in the watch space, which I think, or I believe, could possibly, double over the next, let's call it, I don't want to say year, but really, because usually these things takes long. These things could take a year, could take 3 years, right? But there are certain watches I'm looking at in the same kind of price range where I could put 10 grand in, and we could have a pop to like 20 grand, right? That's the idea. So why would I want to have money tied up in this watch? So I'm going to be probably. I gotta make a move. Now, I said this last year, but I got busy with other things, and you know what? Here we are. A year later, literally a year later. You see, I did videos on this, and I still have the watch, and I've worn it maybe a dozen times in the last year. So, because it's kind of, it is redundant. It's kind of a fun watch. Look, they do, when Rolex does something well, they do things very well. It's very robust in terms of the head, not the bracelet. Beautiful dial. It's got the whole thing is actually, it's fun. It's a fun watch. I mean, this is really. But again, look at my environment. I'm in the desert. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the middle of nowhere, wearing a nautical themed watch. Right? Now the Yacht Master, at least it's got a chocolate dial that kind of goes with the desert colors, etc. Rose gold, chocolate. This is really very, this is something for Miami, something for the coast of Spain, Costa Esmeralda, somewhere, I don't know, Capri. This is what you do. This is whatever. That's what this is for. Now, by the way, I do think, I also did a video where I said I do believe one of the big long-term drivers for the Rolex Submariner market is going to be India. That's right, India. They get 1.5 billion people. I did a video on this last year. India has 1.5 billion people, okay? It's going to be bigger than China in terms of, it's a huge economic phenomenon, right? It's becoming rapidly middle class. They got a lot of tech companies there, and you got a lot of very smart people. Now, look, you don't need to have 1 billion people, all of a sudden. In any country, it's always 1% that really, makes all the money, right? But when you're talking about 1 billion people, actually, they've got 1.5 billion, I think. So it's 15 million people, right? We're talking about 15 million being, wealthy, right? But then you also have another probably 2% that are, let's call it well-to-do, okay? Well enough to do that they could buy, whatever, multiple Rolex, right? And the Indians, okay, Rolex is a brand that's big worldwide, right? And look, what do people do when they make their first money? What do men do when they make money? first thing they do is they go out and buy a Rolex. Okay, that's the first thing guys do, especially if they're ambitious or whatever. They're in sales or whatever it is. Yeah, they buy a Rolex, right? And the Indians. So not only you have Rolex, but also you have the gold. You got the gold. Indians love gold. Indians love gold, and they like, actually, especially this color, yellow gold. They like yellow gold. Not so much the rose gold, I don't think, but the yellow gold is big in India. And you got also, the whole watch is very colorful. You ever watch those Bollywood movies? They got all the color, the dancing. They got like 500 dancers in different costumes. So the Indians love vibrant colors, right? They don't want boring watches, okay? They're not going to be buying black Submariners, okay? So what am I saying here? Are you following me along, tomato cans? What I'm saying is you're going to have 20 million new customers coming into the market. Yeah, 20 million plus, because, out of that 1.5 billion, it's got to be, let's call it 1% is 15. It's actually more, plus the middle class. You're talking really 20 million plus, right? That's just one market coming in, right? How many of these watches do you think Rolex has made? It's not that many. I know they make trillions, but it's not that many. It's probably not a lot. It's not a lot. And here's the other thing, right? As these collectors become more sophisticated, which they will, they're going to go into the vintage catalog. Because I think that, well, in any market, but I think especially today, things are moving much quicker. So the Indians will be going to Rolex, and also, they're value buyers, right? They want a deal. Indians love a deal, right? So they're not going to want to pay retail, okay? Especially in that country, because you have import duties, all the nonsense, etc., etc. So I think the neo-vintage market is going to be very attractive. So I think there's a lot of value drivers for this watch, okay? Meaning that it could be a $20,000 watch in about, let's call it, I would say not 10 years. Yeah, I would say 10 years, yeah. But, so here's the dilemma. Here is the dilemma, The dilemma is I get opportunity cost, because I don't want to hold this watch for 10 years to double my money. When I can see watches that are going to be doubling right now, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you want to find watches that are going to double in value? Well, in order to do that, you got to become an aristocrat. You got to join the channel. For now, it's only $4.95, right? And here's what I'm going to do for you, okay? I'm going to be very transparent. What I'm going to do for you is this. What I do all the time, right? Once I identify the watch, which we're going to call our next blue chip, our next NVIDIA, the next NVIDIA of horology. First, I'm going to buy it. Okay, I'm going to get into it. Right, I got to get in on the ground floor. I got to front run you low-life degenerate tomato cans. Right, because if I just put it out a video, say, hey, buy a XYZ model, this is going to be going to the moon. There's going to be 100 people that are going to, buy it, and then I'm going to miss out, right? So no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it first, okay? And then I'll let you know about it. At least I'm being transparent, right? I'm not like one of these guys that tells you, whatever. No, I'm being straight up. So what do you think? I'm getting rich from your $5? I mean, this is not exactly, a unicorn business when you have $5 coming in from the hoi polloi, right, into the aristocracy, right? Transformation. Look, it is a transformational opportunity, but I'm basically doing philanthropy work. That's right. This is my charity work. Now, so here's the thing. I got my eyes on a couple of these watches that I think could be doubles, yeah, I think we're gonna be putting a video very soon. And by the way, not one of them is a Rolex. That's right, not one of them. Not one of my doubles is a Rolex. Well, actually, no, I'm wrong. We do have. I'll tell you the one, the only Rolex which I think has like upside potential right now, like meaningful upside, is the Turnograph. Ideally in gold, solid gold. that could have a move at any given time. There's maybe one other. There's one or two day date models which are kind of interesting, but they're not going to have big moves. You're not going to have it's not something that's going to double. Okay, it's going to be basically because the prices are not cheap anymore, right? The way to make money is you got to buy things when everybody hates them. Buy ugly, sell pretty, right? That's the idea. Buy low, sell high. So how do you buy low, sell high? You got to buy these watches when nobody wants them. Like nobody wanted the Ellipse. When I was buying Ellipse, nobody wanted it. Okay, now everybody wants it. When I was buying the Audemars Piguet Owl, nobody wanted it. Everybody said, oh, it's too small. Oh, it's two-tone. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this. And guess what? All of a sudden, I was right. Things are moving back to classical, 36 millimeter, 37 millimeter sizes, and onwards and upwards. Now, where are we at? So, yeah, but I'm glad I had to watch because I had to get it out of my system. I've seen these things forever. Look, I've always been kind of curious. Was bi-curious about the watch. By the way, the bezel is not bi-directional; it's only unidirectional, which I don't like. I like the bezel to go, both ways, where it doesn't have to do the clicking, like the Yachtmaster. Yeah, I was always curious about the watch, and I figured, look, sometimes you have to get these things out of your system. You got to get these things out of your system, and I think there's two watches that I think every kind of collector has in the back of their mind, which, they're always curious about, which is the Submariner, which is, relatively attainable, and the day date. The day date. These are the two icons that I think everybody's kind of curious about, right? But the problem is there's too many of them, right? So anyhow, look, bottom line, guys, is this. If you want to learn the secrets of the universe, if you want to achieve spiritual enlightenment, you got to join the channel. You invest $4.95. It's actually making an investment in yourself because now, again, three things are going to happen. Your life is going to be totally transformed. Now you're an aristocrat. You're not just Joe Schmo. Now you're Baron Schmo, okay? Your official title is Baron when you're on the channel. And yeah, we have several people that actually legally changed their name to Baron. That's right. Baron Von Noob, Baron Red. There's a few others. Then there's some grifter who we have to take him to court for, intellectual property theft. That's this guy Meckles, who's a guy who has intimate relations with farm animals. His farm in Wisconsin. He was a member, but then he stopped paying, so his membership, his baronhood, was revoked. That's right, it was revoked. Now he's just a peasant, but he still calls himself Baron Meckles. And then you got also this other tomato can, Peasant Philippe. Peasant Philippe, aka Patek Philippe, but his real name is Peasant Philippe because he also stopped paying, and he's been demoted from, he was a duke at one point, and now he's Peasant Philippe. That's right. So that's what happens. But here are the benefits. Number one is you become a baron. Number two is you get access to our top secret content on this website. The secrets of the universe are going to be revealed to you. And number three is you get a free watch collection review video for a limited time only. That's right. You send a video to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com, and the Colonel will ask whatever questions you have. I don't know, whatever questions you have. And we'll regarding your watches, not about whatever. Not your personal life. We're not a Dr. Phil over here. So don't ask me about if you're considering a sex change operation like Juan and Kino, is that a good idea, or things like that. I'm not qualified to answer those things, right? I'm not. So I'm not here to give accounting advice, legal advice, investment advice. Only horological advice. That's right. That's what this channel is about. So again, $4.95. By the way, we're going to raise the price. I think we have to raise the price. It's just too many. I don't want to make it too accessible. We have to have an exclusivity. We have to have gatekeeping. We can't have the unwashed masses rushing the gates. It's going to be like these so-called private clubs. What is it? The Soho House, right? I think at one point there was, allegedly some sort of thing, 25 years ago. I remember that. But, you go to any of those places, you can't even get a drink. I mean, you sit down, the servants, if you're in a legitimate private club, you're supposed to have servants waiting on you hand and foot, right? At this place, there's a very few, the service is very bad. There's not enough servants. There's too many wannabes, right? That's what happens at these. It's kind of like the Okakistan, the Kuk colony. The Kuk colony watch hangouts with, they have those meetups with, groomers and all that, and circle jerks. Yeah, anyway, but we don't want to go into too much of a tangent, but yeah, click now, the join button, join the channel. We'll see you at the top, my friends. That's right. When your collection doubles, by the way, if you double your money twice, every year for 7 years, you're going to be like a trillionaire. I don't know if you do the math. Again, if you compound double, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 640. It'll take you, about 7 years, I think? 8 years? If I'm not mistaken, in 7 years, you can turn 10 grand to $1 million if you double your money every year. That's not bad, actually. Actually, you know what? Shit. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not a bad ROI. Can you do that? Yeah, I think actually you can. The problem is, there's a couple nuances, because you do need to have a little bit of portfolio diversification. You can't have all your money tied up in one watch. I think you need like probably 3, but you need to have like 3 watches at any given time that could double in value, and that, I think that's enough. You can't go too broad, because there's just not enough. Frankly, there's not enough. I don't think there's that many opportunities. I think in any given year, there's maybe 5 watches that could make a move. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying by make a move? All right.